Now, I'm sure you've heard it before. In order to get good at Valorant, you just need to play more. So that means we can assume that in order to get really good, you need to play all the time. But what about those who don't have all day every day to sit and grind Valorant? Does that mean you can never get to Immortal? No, not at all. In fact, it's a lot easier than you may think. There are just a few things you might not be doing that are holding you back. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how I hit Immortal in 150 hours over 6 months, and how you can do it too. With that being said, let's get right into it. Now, don't get me wrong, you do need to play the game to improve. That's a no-brainer. However, a lot of you spend countless hours trying to improve and completely waste your time. When it comes to improving at anything in life, you need to know how to practice properly. And you probably don't, as you're most likely doing something called general practice, where you look at everything you need to work on, which is probably a lot, and try to fix it all at once. This will get you absolutely nowhere, and is part of the reason why you haven't improved in months, even though you feel like you've been trying really hard. What you should be doing instead is something called deliberate practice. And in order to do this, you need to follow 4 steps. Number 1, identifying your issues. Now, I'm sure if I ask you what you need to improve, you'll have a massive list, like movement, crosshair placement, aim, game sense, mentality, riz, the list goes on. And that's okay. The problem arises when you look at this list and think you need to fix it all at once. You don't, and you can't. So instead, what you need to do is take some time and find out what your biggest issue is. This can be done by VOD reviewing one of your games. Now, if you can't record an entire game, try recording a couple rounds so that you have something to look at. Once you have your gameplay, you need to watch it over. And what you're going to do is take out a piece of paper and write down the mistakes that you're making. Maybe you're peeking when you shouldn't, you're whiffing your shots, you're crouch spraying. Whatever it is, write it down. And do this for every mistake that you see. Once you are done, you need to tally up everything you have written down. So every time you see that mistake, put a line beside it. Then add another line the next time you see it, and do this for every mistake. Then take out another piece of paper and start ranking each mistake from the most tally marks to the least. This is going to allow you to know exactly what you need to work on the most. From here, you move on to step 2, which is 100% focus. Now that you know what your biggest mistake is, you need a plan to work on it. So let's say your biggest problem was crouch spray. Well, that means you need to work on your movement. So maybe you watch a movement guide on YouTube and you follow each step and give it 100% of your focus. That means you're not working on your aim, your game sense, nothing. You're only focusing on the problem at hand, which was your movement. This leads you into step 3, feedback. While you are practicing, you need to be actively looking at your improvement. So if you spent the day working on certain things by following a routine, at the end of your practice, take a look at your improvement and ask yourself, did it help or not? If so, what drills were working and what ones weren't? Take some time to give yourself actual feedback on what you were doing instead of just mindlessly following along. And for step 4, you need to use a tool called refinement. So if during your feedback you found a certain drill wasn't working for you or you didn't like it, you need to stop doing it and try something new. Instead of just doing the same thing over and over again, expecting to get results, you need to find what actually works for you specifically and follow that. And you won't be able to do this without trial and error. You need to continue this 4-step process with your biggest mistake until it is resolved. Once you feel like you have fixed the issue, move on to the second most prominent mistake and repeat the process. By doing this, you will allow yourself to recognize a mistake, actively work towards fixing it with 100% focus, and get it resolved quickly. If you don't use deliberate practice, you will split your attention between a countless amount of things, trying to improve them all at once, giving each one about 5% of your focus. You'll be following a routine that isn't working, not knowing it isn't helping, and spend 3 months getting absolutely nowhere. When instead, you could have just taken a little more time with the execution process and improved everything in half the time. And I'm sure by listening to this, you can begin to see why you haven't been improving at the rate you think you should, and hopefully see that this guide truly will help you get better at the game. Now, with that in mind, you need to pay close attention to what I'm about to share with you, as it is the real secret to how I improved so much without playing all the time, and it's something that no other creator ever talks about, but is essential for performance in game, and that is taking care of yourself physically and mentally. And you may be thinking, Dylan, I want to get better at a video game. Exercise and nutrition aren't going to help me, and I'm here to tell you, you couldn't be more wrong. And some people may argue, well, look at the pros. They aren't in shape. You see, pro players may not be bodybuilders, but each team has a trainer, a nutritionist, and a sports psychologist. So they do take this stuff seriously, it's just not openly talked about. In fact, I can give you a great example of this. The CSGO team Astralis went from being one of the worst teams in the league to having the most iconic run in FPS history. And guess what? This happened as soon as they got a personal trainer, a nutritionist, and a sports psychologist. And hopefully that is enough to have convinced you, or at least piqued your interest. Now, what should you do to get the most out of this? Well, it's simple. You need 3 things: an exercise routine you can follow weekly, a nutrition plan that fits you and your lifestyle, and an outlet to work on your mental health. And luckily for you, this is my specialty. For a little bit of background, I am a kinesiologist, and aside from making gaming content, I help people get in shape and change their lives. Now, when it comes to exercise, you need to be doing a mix of cardiovascular work and weight training. Both are essential for physical and mental health, as well as performance. Now, some of you might be brand new to exercise, and if you are, a good place to start would be simply going for a 30-minute walk 3 days a week. Then you can progress to a walk and an at-home workout once you are comfortable exercising 3 days a week. Once you get into the rhythm of it, you can then start to go to a gym setting and take things even further. Unless you are currently exercising right now or have prior experience with exercise, I would suggest starting out this way, as jumping straight into the gym or exercising 6 days a week can be extremely hard, and it may become too overwhelming, causing you to quit early. However, if you start out slow and work your way up, you can build the habit and turn it into a lifestyle. And if you're wondering, how is this going to help my performance in game? Well, when you move your body, you release endorphins, your mind gets clearer, and you get more energy, allowing you to perform better when playing. And if you play after a workout, you will get an instant boost in your performance. If you don't believe me, try it out and let me know how it goes in the comments. Now, exercise is great and it will help you play better, but an even more crucial component to performance is what you are eating. If you feed your body garbage, you are going to perform like garbage. And I've had people tell me, I eat like crap and I play just fine. Homie, you don't know any different. You think you're performing good, but in reality, you are limiting your potential and you don't even know it. Not only that, but you are slowly killing yourself. There is a reason why athletes eat a certain way, because if they don't, they will perform like shit. And the same goes for gaming, whether you want to believe it or not. And it is especially important when gaming, as you are sedentary when playing your sport, which means you're at a much higher risk for an endless amount of health issues down the line. Now, I'm not saying you have to eat only chicken, rice, and broccoli every day, but what you should do is follow the 80-20 rule. This means that 80% of the time you need to be eating healthy whole food options, and 20% of the time you can have other things that you enjoy, allowing you to get the performance and health boosts you need from your nutrition while not hating what you are eating. And to help you out with this, I'll put up a list of foods you should be choosing from. Now, if you've made it this far, it means you actually believe in what I'm saying and are about to become the most insane version of yourself in game and in the real world. Now, to fully unlock your potential, you need to learn how to control your emotions. And the best way for you to do this is to start practicing meditation. And now you may be thinking, I'm taking this a little too far. But there is a reason why every single successful person talks about meditation. It's because it is truly powerful. Now, you don't need to do anything crazy and become a monk, but you should be meditating for at least 15 minutes a day. This will teach you how to control your emotions and your thoughts, making you tilt-proof and laser-focused, allowing you to enter flow state more frequently and become a true ranked demon while simultaneously living a better life. And it's super easy to do. All you need to do is jump on YouTube and look up a guided meditation. Then, just listen to it. You can start out with a 5-minute meditation and work your way up to a 15-minute one over time. Now, I would recommend doing it every single day, as this is a skill you have to learn over time. I would also recommend you do mindfulness meditations. However, there are different ones you can look up and try. And if you want a more in-depth guide on how to improve your life as a gamer, feel free to download my free ebook. The link is in the description of this video. Or if you want to take your health and fitness to the next level, you can sign up for my one-on-one coaching or purchase one of my in-depth training guides. Both of them can be found in the description of this video. And if you're interested in seeing how I did this for myself, go ahead and check out this video next.